Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make this really cool copper coiled alcohol fired heater. I guess you can call it a heater or a candle, or you could even use it as a stove, as you can see. There you go. So this is unbelievable. Even as a candle, I mean, look at the flame. It's putting off quite a bit of heat. And that flame, well, it's actually hitting the coil right now, but it's coming to about here. And this thing will burn for hours and hours. So let me show you how I made it. It was fun. Okay, so what you're going to need to make it is copper tubing. You can get this right at Home Depot or on Amazon. You're going to need some kind of string for wick. I like to use just regular yarn type string, or some people will use the oil lamp wicks and just cut one piece of it. And you're going to need some sand. Now, a lot of people will say playground sand or children's play sand that you can get different places. I got this at Home Depot, but it was really thick. And the sand is actually to pour inside this copper coil so you can bend it. And the first time I did it, okay, you can see I got pieces all over. The bigger pieces got stuck in here. So if you're going to use a sand that you get like regular sand for maybe mixing with concrete or stuff you get at Home Depot, you're going to want to sift it. I didn't have anything to sift it with, so I made my own homemade sifter out of the bottom of a water bottle, drilled some holes in, and just put the sand in there. Look at that. It came out as fine as you want it to. So there's trick number one. Make yourself a nice sifter and you're going to save a lot of headache. So how do you get this sand into here? Well, if you want, you can use a funnel if you have one that's small enough. I don't, so I just made my own little makeshift thing here with a piece of cardboard. And what I did was, you don't want the sand to come out the other end, so I actually crimped this end. See what I did there? I just crimped it with a pair of pliers. Just get right to the end and give it a good crimp. When I'm all done, I'm just going to cut it and we'll be all set. Sometimes when you buy this copper from different stores, it might have a little plastic cover to put on there, but this one didn't. So go according to, I guess you can say whatever you want. This is about 13 inches long. This hopefully will make it. You may need a little longer. I'm not sure. I've only built one of these so far, and I had a mess with it. Because of the rocks, the sand didn't go all the way in, and oh, it bent and it crimped, and I didn't get a nice round type piece. So I had a little bit of work at it. So anyways, I scoop up some of the sand here and just start to get it in this way. Let's see, get it up high enough. Don't do like me, try to get most of it in if you can. It's going to be quite a long process. What I'll probably do is, I'm showing you how to do it, but what I'll do is I'll pop right to the end when it's already full. So you don't have to watch every few seconds of it. Right now it's probably about up to about here. So why don't I finish it up and we'll talk then. So once you get it mostly full, just pat it a couple times, bang it around to make sure it fills in, because there's still some fairly big pieces in there. It looked like it was full, but I guess there must have been some air pockets. And this is just so you're not going to have trouble with it, bending it. Okay, I think I pretty much got it. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to crimp it on this end as well. Just to make sure it doesn't come out. There we go. Looks like a pixie stick, doesn't it? How many of you remember pixie sticks from when you were my age, or when you were children? If you know what it is, go ahead and put it in the description. I want to see who's telling the truth. Everybody goes, I know what a pixie stick is, and they never had one. Okay, so I'm going to pick up the mess here, put it all in one place, because I'm going to work on this paper. Let's see, I got some glue here, so I'm going to move that around. So as I'm going through this process, I'm not only going to tell you the steps on how to do it, but I'm going to tell you where I messed up on the first time. Okay, so we got that there. So the next step is to take the copper tube and make it into a coil like this. Now, like I said last time, I crimped it and I had a hard time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my gloves on and I'm actually going to heat up the copper a little bit. And I'm going to use my trusty vise over here and wrap it around this big socket. That's about the right size. So all I need to do is I'm going to put this in here. And just tighten it up so the copper doesn't go flying when I get doing it. Okay, so now I'm going to get my other glove on. And I'm going to heat this up a little bit. Now I'm hoping that it's going to bend because I put that soil in there. I don't know if there's going to be any room left. Now when you bend it, you don't need to start right in the middle. You might want to start on the side so you can have room to make the two loops. I don't know how hot this is getting. Should I take off my glove and test it? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here. Are you watching? And I'm going to start bending it. Ooh, it's bending a lot easier than it was last time. Okay. Now don't worry if the bend doesn't come out perfect. We'll adjust it later. Just get close. Almost there. This is coming out a lot better than the last one so far. Oops. There we go. This is what I got so far. So you can see it's coming out pretty darn close. So now what I'm going to do is take this out. And I'm going to put the coil in there. I wonder how hot this is. Don't try this at home. Okay, good. That's not hot anymore. Okay, I'm putting the coil back in there. Let me zero this in for you a little bit closer. And let's see, go sideways so you can see a little bit more what I'm doing. Okay? All right. Oops. So now what I want to do is I want to pull this one out a little bit and this one out so they'll be straight and go into the cover. Okay, that looks actually pretty good. And see, isn't that beautiful? Now, let me put the camera back over there. Now the next step is to cut open the ends and make it even. And what do you open the ends with? A pipe cutter. Or you can use a saw if you don't have a pipe cutter. So the way this works is, it has blades in here. You just put this on what you want for the size. It goes right in there. Oops. Hard to do it with one hand. And you tighten that up. Can you see? And I need a little bit more over here. Now it's supposed to spin around and around. I have a hard time spinning it around because this piece is here. So we're going to see if we can do it just like this. And as it gets easy, can you see it's grooving in there? A little groove right there. As it starts to get loose, you tighten up this part a little bit as you go. And that's how you use a pipe cutter. And you can find these, like I said, anywhere. Walmart, Home Depot. If you want to, I'll put a link in the description so you can even find one on Amazon if you like. Yep, it's almost there. If you can go all the way around, it would go a lot faster. Okay, it looks like it's just about letting go. You know, because I wasn't able to go all around, what it did, it went there and it didn't cut the last piece here. So I'm going to probably have to sand that down with a piece of sandpaper later. See the sand in there? So now what I'm going to do is cut the other end. Just need to adjust it. Open it up a bit and make it so they pretty much match lengthwise. That'll be pretty close. And again, if it doesn't match perfectly, the heater doesn't care, okay? The copper will live with it. It'll be okay. I'm actually bending it a little bit each time to make sure I get maybe more of a cut this time, because I wasn't going around enough last time. Whoops. Did the same thing. Cut one piece there, but it didn't get over there. Okay, now the next step is to get all the sand out of there. All the sand. You can see this is all the sand that was in there. I sifted all that sand and didn't need. Now see how I didn't kink it at all this time. Nice and round. That's how it's supposed to be. And you can see my other one, I actually took some of the kinks out, but I kinked over here and it kinked over there. And like I said, it had quite a few kinks in it. Easy way to find out if it's empty, you could pour water in it, but I don't like to have any water left inside when I'm ready to put denatured alcohol, so just blow in it. But put your hand here so it doesn't get all over your face. Yep, it's empty. Very good. So there you have this. And sand all over your coat. So now what I need to do, let me get some room here on the table. We're going to make it with this bottle. Last one I made this, but it's the only small bottle I have. But the beauty about these mason jars, okay, they make a smaller one, medium, and larger one. And the covers are the same size for most of them. So I can take this one off and put it on this one. If I only had one, you can go to a bigger bottle to last a long time, or a smaller bottle if you just want little, or a real small bottle for a more compact one. So anyways, what I need to do now is I need to take this. I'm going to take this piece out here and I'm going to measure. So I get my trusty marker, and what I'm going to do is take the pipe, put it over here. I'm going to make it come in a little bit more closer together. There we go. And I'm just going to put it so it's like fairly middle in the cover. And I'm going to trace around it with my marker so I know where to make the holes. Or as we say up here in Maine, the trous. We have a lot of French terminologies. So we got the holes there, and what I'm going to do so I don't break my table is I'm going to get my trusty 4x4 out. There we go. This is my 4x4 hole helper. Take this, put it here. And I found that let's see, you want to measure to make sure the pipe is the same thickness. No, see, that's too small. I had where is it? Where's my drill? You want your drill to be the same size as the pipe. You don't want it too big, because we're going to have to actually fill in around the top of the pipe. You see that little goop? That's called JB Weld. You don't want any air holes at all. Now, this one here, I don't know if the size is on it. Let's see, let me take a look. This one here, I got from Home Depot or Lowe's. I believe it was Home Depot. This is 1/4 inch. Okay, so it says right on the back there. And it wasn't that expensive. Probably was like $10, $12 for a piece. Probably 3 feet, 4 feet. What did that say on there? 5 foot. Okay, so there was 5 foot of it. So I'm going to use this drill here. one out. Put this one in. Lock and load. Are you ready? And you want to try to get it as close to the holes. It's funny, I'm always joking about, you see these people on YouTube making all these precise holes with rulers, and they get it just right, you know, and then they never drill into the holes. They miss them by this much sometimes. It's like, why do you measure? Okay. You want the hole to be nice and clean. And one more. And don't worry if you have sharp edges or if it tears a bit. Like I said, you can always just cover it up with a JB Weld. You can sand it. You know, I mean, pretty much any mistake can be fixed. And with as cheap as these things are, get another one. Okay, you can buy a whole package of lids for almost nothing there at Walmart. So let me get my weapon here and put that down before I drop it on my kneecap. Ow! I'm kidding. All right. It's good to have workman's comp. All right, now all you need to do is get that in there. Now, you can actually do this two ways. You can get your string in first, or you can get this in first. I like to get this in first because then all I have to do is put the string in those ends and these ends. If you put the string in first, then put it in the cup, you have to fish through the string and the hose, huh? One less step. So it's going to go pretty much like that there. See how close that is? There we go. I don't like it to have it that close. I should have made it a little bit longer. This one here was, what, 13 inches I said? And did I cut off some? Yeah, this one was 13 inches. I think next time I'll probably go maybe 14 or 15 to make it a little bit longer. So now all I have to do is take my this here. Now we're going to be stuffing it in the end. I'm going to be stuffing it in the end so it goes all the way to about up to here. Not all the way around. So that's going to be enough to wick it in, and the heat, okay, from the copper pipe is going to suck it in the rest of the way. So, and before I do that, another thing I need to do is I need to make a hole right over here. Can you see in this one? See that little hole in there? That's where the flame comes out. All right. So not a big hole. Let's see. Use one of the smallest drills you have. Well, this one's fairly small. Is that the size I used last time? I think so. Now this is the fun part to do because you're drilling a wood drill, that's all I have, into a copper pipe that's round. It's going to keep on slipping all over the place. So, and as you can see, it won't fit in there right now. So what I am going to do, let's see, just to make this easier, so I'm not dropping things, I'm actually going to put this right back on here. There we go. And I'm going to drill right down here. You can put a dot if you want. Don't be as organized as me. Where's my marker? Does anybody see my marker? If you have it, return it now. So I'm going to put the hole right about there. That's the middle. And I can't really see it that good, so I'm going to stand. And I'm going to go right between the two. Whoops. See, there's not enough room between them. So I'm going to widen it out a bit. Let me show you what I'm doing. Just going to put this in here. And just twist it a little bit so I can get my drill in there. Okay? So, now I'm going to take this, try to get it right in the middle. Okay, it's making it very difficult for me. Let me try something else. What I decided to do is take the top off of the jar. I'm going to put it in here, tighten it up a bit, just to hold it. And I'm going to use a nail to prime the hole. Hopefully that will work. I'm going to go ahead and keep that in there a second. and move this back so you can probably see the hole better. Okay, I drill, and what I'm going to do is one more time try to drill. Now you don't want to push too hard when you're drilling because you might go right through to the other side. That's not good. There we go. I finally got it. Woohoo! Look at that little hole. Whoops, can you see it? There we go. Did it go through the bottom? I hope not. Okay, no, it didn't go through the bottom. Yay! Next step is to seal the holes here, okay? Now, I don't want to get any sand in, so I want to move all the sand to the side here, because this is where I'm going to mix my JB Weld. Now, here's another problem I ran into last time. I got some JB Weld, and the JB Weld I have why is everything so difficult to find? I had some JB Weld that I got, but I bought it said JB Weld Fast, okay, so it was a fast drying. It was supposed to be drying in 5 minutes. This one here, I went to get it and it said clear, JB Weld. Ooh, that's great. And it says 5 minutes. I just saw 5 minutes and I grabbed it, ran out of the store. But set time, 5 minutes. Cures in 1 hour. Okay, so I had to stop and go upstairs. So you're not going to be able to see me cure this because it's going to take an hour. But this one here comes with this little syringe type thing, and it mixes it as you put it in. But this one even comes with some kind of end piece you could put on there that supposedly mixes it. Now, I don't know how this works. I think it's supposed to snap into this somehow. Wait a minute. It looks like it should go on there easily, but it's not. Why do I always get the ones that don't go on easily? There we go, it snapped in. So now when I push it, it's supposed to mix at the same time. So let's see if it actually does that. Let's see. I'm going to show you how this works as I press it. Can you see the juice coming in? It's going in. It's going in. And it should come out all mixed already. Ah, there it goes. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is actually put it on the ends. Actually, it's doing a decent job. The only thing is that, like I said, it takes 5 minutes to cure. And when I did it with the other one, what happened was it was running and it ran all the way up my wick. So when I put my wick in, the wick had some of this stuff on it. So I had to kind of scratch it off and all this good stuff. Okay. Trying to get it as straight as I can. So can you see how I did that? And I'm going to put some on the bottom as well. You don't want any leaking of air to get in, because it's going to kill the vacuum and it won't give you as big a flame. There, now that looks good to me. I need to get some paper towels here because I did overspill some. I overspilled some on the actual pipe, and I like it to not be on the actual pipe. There we go. That looks pretty good. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually sit that right on top of the glass and let it dry that way. Now the last part you need to do, like I said, is the wick. And just to show you how I did that is I took a piece about yay long and I made it in 3 parts, like that, and like this, and I twisted it, and twisted it, and twisted it. And if you want to twist it really fast, take the bit out, put it in the drill, and it'll twist it up really fast. But as soon as you let go, it will let go. And once you get it twisted up, you would simply go up to the pipe, and you would put, oops, make them even. And you will put one end right inside the pipe. And what I do is I twist it as I go. And get a little help, you could push it with a piece of the drill. Now you're going to want to do that on both ends. On one end you want to push it till it goes all the way about here, and on the other end right about here, which is going to leave a lot longer, probably about this much down at the bottom, and that's going to sit in the alcohol to wick it. Now remember I was saying about how this is kind of watery? Look at that, it's dripping already. It's dripping inside the bottle. So my suggestion, get the fast dry JB Weld. Honestly, I think this product here stinks, so I guess I will not be sponsored by it. I think this one is not a very good weld. Matter of fact, tonight I'm going to go out and get some of the, it's like a gray colored JB Weld, and I'm going to use that on there. I mean, it's still looking good on the top, but the bottom, like I said, is just dripping right off. The other one would have been set by now, but see, I have to keep on moving this one. So that was another problem I ran into. Okay, you're going to have all kinds of problems with that, so get the good stuff. The 5-second one. Let's see, you know what I did? I guess some JB Weld in the bottom because it dripped in the bottom. Also, using this attachment for the JB Weld is nice, but it's a one-shot use. So if you haven't used all the weld, you're kind of out of luck. So I'm going to have to throw this away now, taking it right off. And if I wipe this, I might still be able to use it for something else, even though I don't really like the stuff. And I do have an end piece that I had on here earlier, which I can't seem to find. That's okay, I'm going to get some new JB Weld, and oh, here it is. I'm just going to chuck this one anyways. There. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Once you're done, and once that dries up, okay, you're going to end up with this as a product. And then you simply, to get it going, you're going to have to prime it. Oh boy. Make sure you don't get JB Weld all over your drills. That's the other problem of having something that's invisible. The clear one, you can't see it. So I keep on putting my hands down in it. So to light this, what I do, it takes a little priming, takes a little while, okay? You're going to have to heat the thing. Sometimes it lights right up. This one has been lit up twice now already. But with the alcohol, okay, as it'll go right up the wicks, and when this gets hot enough, it'll light, and then it'll just keep on wicking it up for you. It's not coming up yet. Sometimes I even give it a little shake just to get some alcohol in there. Oh, see that? That's what it took. I don't know if you can see. There we go. And it's getting bigger. And it's getting bigger. And bigger. Fire! Fire! Whoa, look at that, how big it is. And it's only getting big like that because I actually put some alcohol in there when I shook it around. But eventually it'll go right down to about the top of that. So there you have it. My copper coil candle slash heat system slash stove. Great little product. Like I said, for a stove, I just cover it up. And it gets pretty darn hot. There you go. Now, I'm not going to put any water in there because I have some wax that I've been melting for fire starters. So this works great. And by the way, this is just one of those science stands they use for the beakers and science experiments. I'll put a link down there for you if you're interested in that as well. I got one from Amazon. I just wanted to have something easy to show you how to cook with it rather than having to make a stand every single time. But look at that flame. Isn't that beautiful? In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the light so you can really see it good. Now this flame is fairly clear because I'm using denatured alcohol, which is what, like 99% alcohol. You can use the isopropyl alcohol. There's some of them that are 70%. There's some of them that are 90%. But those don't burn as clean as these, okay? They're actually going to have probably a redder flame, a red and orange, so it's going to look brighter. But this is actually burning hot, and it's going to be a lot cleaner. And as with any stove product or open flame, you want to make sure you have a fire detector, which I have one right up there, a carbon monoxide detector, and a fire extinguisher handy, because safety is important. Now, since this is an open flame, it's great, I think, for the garage, for emergency thing, for camping, for the greenhouse, but I wouldn't use it in the house too much because in a home, you don't want to have fumes. And if you'd like to see something else that I can do with this, in one of my upcoming experiments, I'm actually going to be making one of those sand earth batteries, and it's going to be powered by this rather than the Crisco candles, which so many people are doing. So that's it for now. I appreciate you watching, and please, if you haven't done so, go ahead and subscribe. It costs you nothing, but it really helps us to grow. We do this for free, and that's how we get paid. So I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.